everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this cute little mitten ornament for the tree. This is so cute and adorable. It's just super simple, a very quick project, so you can make this with me. I'll get into the supplies and then we'll get into making it. So you're going to need some Red Heart Super Saver yarn. I'm using my main color as cherry red, and then my little cuff on my little mitten here is just plain white, but you can use any two colors that you want or make it a solid color. That's totally up to you. This is a size 4 medium worsted weight yarn, so you can use any type of you know, double knitting yarn or worsted weight yarn. It's very a thinner type of yarn. We are also going to use an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters, and you can use, you know, a G hook or an H hook. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to use this as my demonstration, and this hook particularly is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. You can get the link in the description of this video where you can shop for these hooks because they are perfect for those who love to crochet for a really long time. It's an ergonomic, hand-carved, handcrafted hook, perfect for your hand. It's really nice, so you can hold it any which way you'd like to crochet with, so it's really nice. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle, so make sure you have those supplies, and then a button if you want a little button accessory on your little mitten. So those are all the supplies we're going to need. And before we get started, I do want to mention there are links in the description of this video. There's a link to the blog where you'll get the written pattern for this project, as well as the links to my Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and Snapchat. I'm YARNutopia on Snapchat, so make sure you follow me there as well. Alright, and big thank you to Red Heart Yarns, big thank you to my dad back there for filming and editing everything. And now we can get started and make this super quick little mitten ornament. Alright, let's start out with a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold that down, and then pull the long end through and pull tight. Insert your hook, and we can start. So let's start out by chaining 2. So yarn over and pull through 1 and 2, and in the second chain from the hook we are going to put 6 single crochets. So go into that second chain, which is way over here. We're going to go into there, then we're going to yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So there's 1. We have to put 6 single crochets in there. So that was 1, here's 2. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's 3. Okay, here's 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to insert a stitch marker. We are actually going to be working in continuous rounds. I was looking for a piece of yarn over here for my stitch marker, and I can't seem... There's one. Found one. If you have a legit stitch marker, that's great. You can put it right in this spot to mark your rounds, but I'm just going to stick this other piece of yarn in here to mark my rounds. I am also going to be working in the back loops only. So I know I've showed you in the previous videos for these ornaments, we usually work through both loops, just like this, both loops, both loops, both loops. The loop that's furthest away from you right here, that's the back loop. So we're going to be working into the back loops only for this project. Okay, so what we're going to do is in round 2 put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So this stitch here, or this first one, we're going into the back loop, pulling up a loop here, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. There we go. There's 1, go back into there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 2 single crochets in that first stitch. I'm going to grab some more yarn here, and we can go on to the next step. We're going to put 2 single crochets in the back loop of this next stitch, and in each stitch around. So at the end of round 2, we are going to have 12 single crochets here. 1 and 2, hop to the next, 1 and 2, and I just have 2 stitches left here to fill, so we can go on to round 3 right away. and make sure you have 12 stitches on round 2, and then you can move your stitch marker up and we can go on to round 3. And round 3 we are going to increase again, so we are going to put 2 single crochets in this first stitch right here, okay, back loop only, 1 and 2, and then just put 1 single crochet in the stitch after that. 1. Just like that. And we're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next. Then 2 single crochets in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next. And do that all the way around, and at the end of round 3, you will have 18 single crochets. Alright, I have my 18 single crochets around round 3, and now we are done increasing, so let's move our stitch marker up. And for rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6, the next 4 rounds, we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And each round will have then 18 single crochets, and we're working in the back loops only for rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6. So when I finish round 6, I'll meet you up, because then round 7 we are going to be making the thumb hole for the mitten. So I'll meet you up when I finish round 6. Alright, so I may have switched up or mixed up the stitch count here on my rows. So I think I might have said rounds 3 through 6, but this is actually round 4. So round 4, 5, 6, and 7, the next 4 rounds. I was right in the 4 rounds, but I think I said it was rounds 3 through 6, but it's actually rounds 4 through 7 are just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I did round 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like that. So your piece should look something like this, and I'll correct that in the written instructions. I must have written that wrong and said it differently in this video, but in the written instructions on YARNutopia.com it will be rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So now we can go on to round 7, or round 4, 5, 6, and 7, so round 8. We are going on to round 8 now, I promise. So round 8 says to chain 3. Let's move our stitch marker up just to be safe. Okay, so round 8 says to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And then go into this next stitch in the back loop only here, just like that, and single crochet into the last 15 stitches. So I'm going to count it here just to be sure. Don't want to give you any false information anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to go a little faster. We're working in the back loops only, single crocheting in the rest of the stitches on this round. I lost count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. Then we can move our stitch marker up into there. And round 9 says to single crochet into each one of these 3 chains. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to turn the chain toward me and work in the back ridge. Okay, so I'm going to go into behind these 2 loops. I know you can't see it very well, but there's the back ridge right there. Okay, so the back ridge of those 2 loops. And I'm going to single crochet into the chain. Don't put it into the chain 3 space itself where this finger is. We're going to actually go into each chain. Okay, so there's 1. Next chain is 2. If you can get it in there, there we go. 2. And this next chain is 3. Oopsie, slipped out of there. There we go. 3. Okay, so you can see this hole here, that chain 3 space was for the thumb hole, which we'll add the thumb later. So we just single crocheted in each of those 3 chains, and now we're just going to single crochet in the back loops of the rest of the stitches, which is 15 stitches. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up at the end of this round. Alright, going on to round 10, so I just single crocheted, for round 9 we just single crocheted in those 3 chains and then in the rest of the stitches, so you should still have the 18 stitches around. So moving on, round 10 is very simple. We're just repeating what we did for round 4 through 7, just putting one single crochet in each stitch around. So this is round 10 now. And we're just putting one single crochet into each stitch around, just like this, in the back loops only. And then at the end of this round, I am going to change color. Alright, just finished up round 10 there. So now I'm going to change my color. So we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch right here. And I'm going to go under both loops there. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then chain 1. And we're going to just cut this yarn right here and pull it all the way through and pull it tight. Okay, then what we're going to do, I'm just going to leave my stitch marker in there. We're going to grab some white yarn for the cuff. Let me grab my white yarn here, and what we're going to do is work in the both loops now. So I'm going to go into where we slip stitched, okay, right where we slip stitched. You want to insert your hook into that stitch under both loops. Okay, the cuff is going to be worked under both loops, and we're going to hook on our yarn and pull that through. Perfect. Now instead of working in continuous rounds, we are going to work in rounds and chain up one, slip stitching and everything. So we're going to chain 1 here, okay, and we're going to single crochet where we attached. So go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, okay, and then just pull your straggler just a little bit to secure this stitch. Perfect. Now we are going to single crochet into each stitch around. So under both loops though, so we're going to go into this next stitch right here under both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Just like that. So I'm just going to single crochet around, and then when I'm finishing up this round, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next round together. Alright, so I've come back to the beginning. I have 18 stitches around, and you know what? I am going to actually remove the stitch marker because it's not needed anymore. And what we're going to do is slip stitch to the first single crochet. So go into the first stitch right here. If you can fit your hook in there. There we go. And then yarn over and pull through that stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. Just like that. Okay, now we can go on to the next round. This will be round 12 now, so chain up 1. Okay, and we are going to single crochet 2 together. So go into this very first stitch that we just slip stitched into, go into there, and then yarn over and pull through. Then go into the next stitch immediately, under both loops there, yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that is a single crochet 2 together, or a single crochet decrease. Now we're just going to single crochet into the next stitch, just a regular single crochet working in both loops, just like that. And we're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So single crochet 2 together, so insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And then just put a single crochet into the next stitch, just like that. So single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in the next, and always work through the both loops for the cuff part. I worked in the back loops only for the main part of the glove or the mitten, but now I'm working in both loops. And then after this round you should have 12 single crochets on round 12, so that will be easy for you to remember. And then after this round, let me just do one more repeat here. We are going to slip stitch to the first stitch, which is the single crochet 2 together stitch right here, not this chain up 1 right here, but go into the actual stitch right there, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Alright, our last round of this main part here, we're going to chain up one, and we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around, and we're going to go into this first stitch that we just slip stitched into. Let's single crochet in there, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way around for, again, a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up at the end of this round. Alright, just finishing round 13 here. Slip stitch into the first single crochet, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And now we can fasten this part off. So let's chain one and cut this yarn, and then pull it all the way through and pull tight. Okay, so this is what your piece should look like right now. It's starting to come together. We just have to make the thumb here and sew in some ends. So let's grab our red yarn again and make the thumb. Okay, and to do that, we are going to look at this piece like this. Okay, so your red is on top, white is on the bottom, and we're going to start in this bottom corner right here. You can see here that there are 6 stitches total. And I'll use my needle to show you. 6 stitches. So there's one up top here, 1, 2, 3, and then under here, here's this stitch right here, 4, this middle one right here, 5, and this one right here, 6. So we are going to work in those 6 stitches, okay? So I'm going to attach my yarn to this bottom one here. I guess if you know where your stitches are, you can attach your yarn wherever you'd like. But I'm going to attach it to this stitch right here and go through this hole, just like this, and hook on my yarn. Oopsie. Okay, and pull it through if you can. There we go. Awesome. Then what we're going to do is chain up one and single crochet into that same stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go into the next stitch and single crochet. So go in. Ooh, I'm going to work over the top of the straggler. You don't have to, but I'm going to. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And this next stitch right here. Okay. And there's a little hair. 3. Okay, now we're just going to flip this around and work on these 3 stitches up here. So I'm going to go into this first one right here, under both loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go into the next one here, and single crochet in this last one here. Now what we're going to do to close this up, we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. So go into this first one right here, yarn over, pull through, and pull through that loop on your hook, just like that. Now we are going to, let's see here, single crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rounds, and I'm going to chain up one first, and we're going to work in those back loops. So if you can, if you need to, use your needle to kind of pull on that back loop right there, and then insert your hook into there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's 6 stitches around. Okay, it is going to be really tight, really crunched, but you can do it. We're just making the thumb here. And you know what? I can even trim this down to get this little strand out of the way so you don't see that. Whoopsie. Sorry. Okay, so here's 3. Okay, it's much easier now that you have your stitches instead of working on that first round. And here's 5 and 6. Okay, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning here, this first single crochet of this round, right in here. I'm going to go under both loops, then yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay, one more round here. We're going to chain up one and work in those back loops again, just single crochet around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then slip stitch to the first single crochet right here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. One more stitch here to close this top. We're going to chain up 1, go into the first stitch, and straight across from it, the 4th stitch right here. Okay, close up this top, we're going to yarn over, pull through those stitches, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Just like that. Then we're going to cut our yarn, pull that all the way, or actually we're going to chain 1 and then pull that through. Sorry. Chain 1, pull it all the way through, pull tight, and we're going to grab our yarn needle because that doesn't look very flattering right now. We are going to sew this all up. Okay, so you can stick your finger inside if you need to. I can actually stick my pinky in there because it fits around my pinky. There we go. And I'm just going to go into the thumb and kind of work this strand around the stitches, at the base of the stitches, like into the stitches, so that the strand gets hidden and sewn in, and the thumb doesn't look so, you know, jaggedy or weird. Okay, and then once you have sewn that all down and together, and it looks like a thumb, we can cut this short, and then we want to grab the strands that are on the inside here. I know it's going to be difficult to kind of see them, but there's those 2 strands from when we changed color. You want to tie those 2 in a knot, and you can simply just leave them inside, just cut them short and leave them inside, or you can sew them in, but nobody's going to really like go inside of this. So I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter and then just stuff them in the inside of this little mitten. And if you want to, also, you can sew this little bottom up so nobody can even like go into there, and that's totally fine too. I'm just going to sew in this end as well. This was when we fastened off our cuff here. So I'm just going to go underneath at the base of these stitches. And if you wanted to, you could cut that strand kind of longer and then use that for sewing this bottom closed, and that's totally cool too. But that's creator's choice, up to you. So I'm going to cut that and then stretch this out. Awesome. Okay, actually 2 last things. We want to do 2 last things. Let me grab my button and some yarn and I'll be right back. Alright, so I grabbed a cute little button here. I just want to attach it right here. You can attach buttons here or attach some buttons, you know, 3 down the center would be really cute too. Or you can attach a little ribbon or some felt with some cute little design on there. So I'm just going to attach this button though as a little extra piece here. So I'm going to just cut a little strand of yarn here, and what I'm going to do with this yarn, if you have thread it might be a little easier, but what I'm going to do is separate my ply, so untwisting this yarn, and you can see that there's like 4 strands together. I'm just going to split them in half, take 2 strands in each hand and just pull. Okay, and then I'm going to toss one aside and use one of the 2-stranded grouping here and yarn my needle with that. And then to sew this on, we're just going to go from the inside and then out this button right here, and then go back into the mitten. Okay, and you can position this wherever you want your mitten to be. And then I'm going to do that one more time, just going around and into this piece. Perfect. Okay, and then pull tight, and then I'm just going to tie those 2 strands in a knot on the inside of this mitten. And like I said, if then you wanted to close this top part, you could. I'm going to snag this just cut that shorter and then just shove that inside. And nobody will ever know. How cute. One last thing we want to do is just make this into an ornament. So if you have a ribbon, that'd be great to use, but I'm just going to use a little piece of yarn, and I'm just going to yarn my needle, just like that, and then go through the side, like that, and then we're going to just tie this into a knot. And like I showed you in the other videos, we're just going to wrap it around our fingers and crisscross and then come back around through that loop. And then you can decide how long you want your thing to hang. That looks good. Cut that. And then I'm just going to pull this down and shove that inside. And it's flat. And if you want to, you could even stuff this with some polyfill and then sew up that top too and have a little stuffed little mitten as well. But I think this is super cute, just like that. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today. Big thank you to my dad for filming and editing this tutorial. And big thank you to you for watching and learning how to make this cute little mitten ornament. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so you can get the update on when we post our next video. And click that thumbs up. Thumbs up, guys. Alright, until next time, happy hooking!